No, that's what she said.
And we're live. Uh-oh. A little too high there. What's up, bro?
What's going on? Everything good? Beautiful day out.
As good as can be, man. As good as can be. I didn't get to take a nap though. So let's cut that off. I didn't get to take a nap. So if I yawn, it's not that I'm bored.
Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. How was the drive in?
It was good. All good, brother. Took a nap.
You did?
Yes. I got my nap in. Sorry.
Es que los viejos necesitan que descansar. Because for real, like I needed it. As you're coming into the room, let us know that you're here. Tonight we got a very special guest. We have 3 women who started their own business. They're pioneering their own way, and they are called Canna Kitchen. Canna Kitchen is comprised of 3 longtime childhood friends, and if I'm wrong, they'll correct me when we start. But they're 3 go-getters, and now they're jumping into the world of cooking with cannabis. And if everybody remembers, we had an episode when the show first aired with Manny Alfinez and Super Swan from High End Cooking, which just incidentally started filming again. And Swan has been doing events, and it's a beautiful thing to see that these 3 women have started this business and are jumping into this venture. Pretty interesting. And we partook in their wares, did we not?
Yes, we did. We definitely had some samples, some taste the other night.
And if everybody could see behind Overselli's shoulder, there's some more samples. So tonight is going to be an interesting conversation. We're hoping to get the story of how it began, how it started, and how these women balance their personal lives and their hustle all in one. But I'm sure it's going to be simple because, women have the amazing ability of multitasking, and they're the best liars. Speaking of which, salute to Manny Alfin as he's in the building, all the way down from Pensacola, Florida. And the regular schmegler, Miss Angelica Reyes, we see you. Good evening.
Manny Alfinez. What do you speak? Speaking of liars, that's me, Manny Alfinez.
What?
Oh, as you said, speaking of liars, hey, Manny Alfinez.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I said it's because I was just talking. He was the one that came on the show.
Oh, okay.
Oh man. So I guess we're gonna run this track and we're gonna get it started.
Let's run the track.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A.
Sally's our song in the building.
And this is the set 6145. And as I stated earlier, tonight we have 3 young ladies, and they call themselves Canna Kitchen. And their food is amazing. Them pastelillos had a brother up all night. And not only that, Sally, I don't know if you picked up on this, but I didn't taste no cannabis. Did you?
I didn't taste nothing but sweetness. It was great. It was very good. Had me stuck when we're doing our comedy interviews. I was like, The Price is Right. You know, the ladies, they
Yeah.
And they can't talk, and that's how I was. I was stuck in the middle of there. But definitely good food for sure. I couldn't even say empanada. I was like, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I that's the one thing that I did appreciate about it, and that's how Bertha got me in trouble because I was like, no weed. This don't got weed, right? And she's like, no. She couldn't hear me.
Psych.
Bullshit. And then when I ate it, I didn't taste it. Normally when you taste infused foods, you could taste the weed. But their food, listen, it was definitely done right. So without further ado, let's bring these women in. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody welcome the ladies from Canna Kitchen. Good evening, ladies. How are you? All right, everybody's in the shot. Oh, let me turn the mics up. All right. So, ladies, one by one, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, I'll start. My name is Lisa, and I am from Borough Park, Brooklyn. And I have the pleasure of working with my 2 amazing friends, Bertha and Elisa. And I don't know where to start about myself, but that's a little bit. I'll let the girls continue. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Bertha. Originally born and raised in Brooklyn, but I live in Staten Island. But you'll see me a lot out here in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Our Canna Kitchen is based in Brooklyn. You'll find out later a little more about me.
Don't be shy. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Elisa. I'm originally from Sunset Park, Brooklyn. My father used to have a grocery store back in the day in Bay Ridge. So I'm a born and bred Brooklyn girl.
Oh, all right. So everybody's originally from Brooklyn here tonight. That's
I'm
what I'm.
Sally. I'm a Capricorn.
All right. So, ladies, let's start at the beginning. I understand that you guys, at some point or another, were all sort of working together. Maybe at least I is like the new addition to the group. Am I right? Am I wrong? You guys were doing like clubs or events or things of that nature. Am I right?
So back in 2008, 2009, myself and Bertha and another girlfriend of ours, Letty, we were No Regrets, and we promoted. We actually worked alongside Mr. Sally Sasson. We worked together, and we did all aspects of it. We went from the event planning. I myself bartended, did the front door alongside Bertha. We hosted, co-hosted, we bartended. We did it all. Elisa used to attend our events, and also did bartending on her own. So all of us have backgrounds in hospitality business. Thank you.
There you go.
And so after that part kind of calmed down in our lives and we all went back to just the normal lives, we all stood hanging out together, and we all were very, very close. And then eventually Canna Kitchen came out. But all of us have our background in the hospitality industry. And so kind of it's segue into where we're at now, doing what we're doing now.
Okay. So Elisa, I guess you're the odd man out in the group, and then you were drawn into this over time, I guess, having this friendship with these two young ladies.
Yes and no. I've known them for a long time. I always supported what they did. I've been a bartender and in event planning in my corporate life. I used to work in Rios back in the day. You know, I was always in kind of the entertainment field and industry. So when I saw that the cannabis business was going to go mainstream and it was going to be made federally legal, I knew that that was a business I wanted to get into.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So you said something that piqued my interest there. At any point in time, with the exception of Lee, I think I'm going to say, were any of you like staunch advocates, like, ew, you smoke weed? Like, was that was that part of your personality growing up at any point?
Growing up, it was mine. I mean, only because
Christian?
Catholic, see negatively. My parents, they're from Ecuador, immigrants.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a restaurant actually in Park Slope for over 20 years. We had two, one in between DeGraw and Douglas, and the other one on Sackett Street.
Okay.
Very strict South American family.
Conservative.
Yeah, very extremely conservative, I must say. My dad, may he rest in peace. I wish he was alive so I can tell him what we're doing now and the benefits of it. So I was always in the restaurant business, in the cooking business, in the hospitality. I also worked in a
But
hotel.
not in the smoking weed business.
No, but then as I grew up, as I got older, I was introduced to it, and I loved it. And then I got, medically speaking, I was introduced to it with one of my doctors because of chronic pain issues that I have, which we will talk about later on.
Oh, that chronic back pain.
It's more than that.
I think that it's funny how during the course of one's life, you can go from being a staunch, not pro cannabis to going pro cannabis. And I've seen quite a few people
I think
go.
we're seeing more and more of it.
Yeah. I mean, there was a person here. I'm not going to say nobody's names,
Right.
but this person was at the event.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this person to be like, forget it. You might as well have called this person like a super Catholic conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so that to that person, it was drugs. Like
Right.
you might as well have been on the street smoking on the glass. You
My
know
mother.
what? Mommy was like that?
My mom is still like that.
My mom, yes. And I'm very open and very honest about who I am. So she knows that I'm a cannabis consumer, and she's a heavy cigarette smoker, which is a problem for me. And we would go back and forth. I also come from a very conservative religious family, but I've always been in my truth and had the courage of my convictions. So my family, I was always like the odd duck. They always knew what I represented and where I stood, regardless of how they felt about it.
The black sheep.
Do you guys have friends frowning upon it now that you started this business? Is anyone coming at you like friends like, oh, what are you doing?
For me, I have to say it's been actually humbling, the support. And I actually even said it today that I think people have more faith in me than I probably have in myself, which has actually helped me push forward with this. But no, I haven't run up against anything yet. One of the things that I want to speak about in regards to this topic is that's one of the goals of Canna Kitchen. Right now, with the booming cannabis industry and everything, how it's happening right now, we're trying to break those stigmatas, so to speak, those bad connotations that get thrown at cannabis. Yeah, you have people that, use it recreationally and often, and then they get stigmatized, like, they're drug addicts or it's a gateway drug. Meanwhile, I've been smoking weed since I was 15.
And you haven't sold your sneakers yet for no pot?
No, I have not. I have not.
Okay.
And I've always been independent and working and being on my own. And the amount of cannabis that I've consumed, whether it's a whole hell a lot of it to just a joint, I still get up and I do everything that I want to do. I always got up to go to work. I always had side hustles. I always, now as a mother, having that responsibility thrown on me as well. It's never deterred me. It's never slowed me down. On the contrary, I think I do some things better than when I'm sober. But getting back to your original question, I haven't personally come across anybody to downplay. In fact, they love the fact that we're doing the sofrito,
Right.
which is, it goes back to what I say, where we want to break these stigmatas. You're not going to get a person that stigmatism, not
Stigma.
stigmatism.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. You're not going to get an older person that has never picked up smoking of any kind, whether it be cigarettes or joints, and they get a diagnosis of some ailment where this miracle plant, this healing plant, would be beneficial to them. You're not going to get them to pick up smoking. However, if it's Doña Carmen and you want to give her some sofrito to make her, her habichuelas or whatever, they're gonna be more open to that than to handing them a bag of bud and them rolling.
I agree with that because I have a niece. Oh, she's probably gonna kill me right now.
Uh-oh.
I have two nieces. One is a Canna mom, and she is a construction worker. She's a cement mason. So
Jesus.
Yes. Besides destigmatizing the reputation of cannabis, one things that we ask everyone to do is, you can call it weed, Mary Jane. Please do not call it marijuana. That's a racist name that this government gave to it to give it a Spanish connotation. It's an insult and it's racist.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My other niece, Gloria, that she's always been opposed to cannabis consumption.
Mm-hmm.
She actually told me that she's willing to try our food, and she is a staunch Christian. She could be a little rigid, and I was flabbergasted. I never expected that from her.
Wow.
I gave it to my mama.
Knowingly, or like, mommy, here, come.
Actually, no. I didn't even give it to her. She opened the fridge and she
prometía. There you go. Tiene hambre. Para tú y su grupo de bingo. Go ahead. There you go.
She has trouble sleeping and she suffers from anxiety.
Oh, wow.
She slept like a baby. The next day she was like, oh my God, I slept well, this and that. So I'm looking at my brother. Do you want to tell her what you did? We eventually did. She got a little upset, but then I was explaining to her what is it that we do.
Right,
So
right.
she was okay with it. So honestly, as long as I'm open with my mom, I have a 15-year-old son, because I have to talk to him about that.
Okay.
And my husband, that's very, very supportive. I'm okay.
So before we go any further, first, Elisa, I want to tell you that your son says hi, and her foods are amazing. He's in the room.
Thank
Right?
you, Raphael.
Thank you, Rafael, honey. I love you and I miss you.
So, I've heard very interesting aspects and perspectives coming from each of you women. Now, I believe Bertha said my husband. I haven't heard anybody else mention significant others, but do you guys have a hard time, or have you had a hard time presenting this to your partners and or husbands or significant others? And if so, what was the pushback and how did you guys deal with it?
I'll take this one. I'll start this one. I'm not married and I'm single, so there really isn't anybody for me to say anything to. However, I have not personally had a conversation with my mother and told her what I'm doing. The other day I was in a text thread, and I was talking with my sister and my sister-in-law, and I just threw the tincture bottles and the sofrito bottles into the conversation, forgetting that my mom, who wasn't texting, was still part of the text thread. And she said, "What is that?" I said, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's for Mercy."
Sofrito mágico.
It's sofrito. But I kept it at that. I said it's sofrito, and she didn't question it. You know, our logo has a cannabis leaf. Hello. So did she make the connection and just said, "You know what, I'm not gonna touch that with Lisa"? I don't know. She hasn't said anything to me. I personally haven't had the conversation with my mom. She moved. She's out of state. So as an adult, I really don't tell I don't go and ask permission for things anymore. So but I do have the support of my brother and my sister, and my other family members that they know not to talk to Titi Lulu. So
wow.
But I mean, the reason I haven't spoken to my mom basically is just because I know she's opposed to it. She's always been opposed to it. Whenever we've gotten into it, it was always, "Oh, you came out like your father and your father's side." All of that stuff. So I just, I'm not gonna have the conversation. It hasn't happened. She's actually flying in tomorrow, so that conversation might take place.
Haga la comida ahí, preparado when she comes home. Mami, tiene hambre.
Yeah, I think that's what like, Ma, you know what?
Put her in a good mood.
And go make some food for you and Carmelo. And call me. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
With me, my husband, he's very, very, very supportive. He's seen me. When I say chronic pain, I mean severe chronic pain. Back in 2020, I got diagnosed with Lyme disease.
Oh, wow.
Then came rheumatoid arthritis, then osteoarthritis, then some sort of like I have back issues.
Right.
And then I had COVID.
Oh, wow.
All of that. So I was living in Florida. I came back December of 2019. My husband, we all moved back to New York. He works for MTA, so he cannot consume or do any of that. But
Bendito.
Randoms.
But during that time, I got really, really sick. Like I was paralyzed for a while. We didn't know what was going on.
Oh, wow.
We got blood work and whatnot. Then they diagnosed me with all of that. I started taking a lot of medications, and when I mean like severe shit, like the perks, they gave me that. They gave me everything you can think of. I even had a PICC line on. Like it was really bad. I was in and out of the hospital, the emergency room. So talking with
Borrachona.
Last call.
and talking with all the specialists, because I had to see neurologists, pain management, infectious disease doctors, specialists. I was like, listen, the medication made me really, really sick. Also, I work for a pharmaceutical company, so I know like the effects. I see the patients. I'm not going to name the pharmacy, but I know my patients and when they're addicted to it.
Right.
I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go another route.
Right.
So talking to my pain management doctor, she's like, "Well, you know what, Bertha? Try medical marijuana. Why not?" do you like marijuana? I'm like, absolutely, I do. I'll try that.
Cannabis.
I was
cannabis,
waiting
cannabis.
for it.
I am. Hold on. That's
Finally,
why.
we got there.
Don't worry. That's where I was gonna
So
get
glad
to.
you
But
broached
that's
this
what they
subject.
call it. And
Right.
on the actual license, it's called
Cannabis.
medical marijuana.
Well, now
which
they're
I am-
changing it.
Yes.
They're changing it.
Oh,
Now it's
believe me,
become cannabis.
I've had
yes.
a whole conversation with my doctor about that. And actually, she knows what we're doing. So she's on board. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, she's on
Cool.
board with the whole thing.
Nice.
But
As
I'm sorry,
for-
just one thing. So that's why my husband, Gano, shout out to him.
Oh,
Shout
salute
out
to
to
Cano.
Cano.
Yeah.
He was like, you know what? If this is what it takes for you to be okay, like this man had to carry me to the bathroom. I
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
even able to eat. I wasn't able to move. He had to feed me. Like it was that bad. You girls seen the flares that I had.
Yeah.
And needless to say, I am off of so many medications, and I'm taking two, Humira and methotrexate. That's for the RA, and then marijuana. That's it. Like I seriously
Cannabis.
Cannabis. Sorry, cannabis.
Sate la
Off of
correa
my-
ahora.
off of my
Habits
head,
die
off of
hard.
my head.
So for me, I'm like Lisa. I'm single. I have a son, but my son is grown. He actually lives in Ohio. So I really don't have anyone to answer to. If I did have a partner, this is part of my life. They would have to accept that. But I will say the attitude of cannabis in general is changing, because Lisa had made a point that back in the day, they used to consider it a gateway drug.
Mhm.
They're actually considering it now as a treatment for opioid addiction,
Mhm.
as a way to
Yes.
take people off. And for me personally, I've never been someone who likes to take pills. These ladies know I suffer from endometriosis, so I get really bad cramps. Nothing ever helped. Pills don't work well with me. So if I could find a natural solution, a homeopathic solution, I'd rather take that, because one of the reasons that we're in this opioid addiction in this country is when the pharmaceutical companies back in the 70s lobbied to go from not profit to profit. That's when the whole game changed in the health industry. And now you have these legal drugs that are so addictive. How can you outlaw a plant, but yet fentanyl was legal, Vicodin, Oxycontin. I don't understand that. That just makes no sense. Make it make sense.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. I got a question of like prep time. Like, is it different than like regular food, or is it? Can one of you guys do
Well-
it, or does all three of you guys have to be involved with the prepping?
So this is a big learning game for us. Bertha has the most experience when it comes to the food aspect and business wise. We recently realized with all the jobs that we're getting and all the events that are coming at us now, that we are not going to be able to always work in unison. So being that each one of us can cook, the prep work really comes when you're making the ingredients that we need. For example, the tinctures, the infused olive, coconut, avocado oil, which we do all three. Making the sofrito will take a day, and we'll make these things and we'll make them in abundance so that we have enough. So we have enough to bottle for selling, and then we have enough so that we each have in our home. So in the event that one of us has more free time, because all of us do have full-time jobs. We're all full-time moms. I mean, Alisa's son is grown. My daughter's only 8 years old. And Bertha has a teenager and a husband, which we all know that's like having another child. No offense, guys.
Yeah, all right.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, all right.
I'm just saying.
Listen, I'm glad you opened that door, because I got a few things I want to let off my chest real quick.
But just it's something that the prep time, it depends on the event. It depends on how big the event is, what we're making. If each of us, it all boils down to planning. We really plan out everything because we have to. One of us isn't free all day there, so we scheduling and time management has definitely been one of the things that stays at the top of our list of priorities of things we got to do, because the cooking, the prepping takes a lot of time, but we break it up. We have the ingredients needed, because cooking, you cook, and then you're just supplementing the regular olive oil for the infused, and the tincture and the preparation, depending on the meal you're making. You're just basically substituting non-infused for infused. So you can pretty much, if you're coming down to cooking, it takes around the same amount of time it takes to make a dish, because we already have the stuff made.
Now the tincture, tinctures come in 4-hour or 8-hour. The tincture takes time to make, but you put it in the machine and I let it run overnight.
Let me add something here. Manny Alfinez, who is in the cannabis industry, has been for I think 3 years now, said look into the Association of Cannabis Businesses, or NACB. Great resource for any cannabis business.
Thank you.
Second thing he said was, with preparing the food, do your guests or the people who patronize your business, do you ask them what kind of effect that they want? Do they want to be
Absolutely.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Absolutely. We do dosaging depending on who we're preparing our meals for. And we learned that through, trial and error. Okay. Because all of us are cannabis consumers and we smoke. I personally, if it's not a strong edible food, candy, whatever it is, I can, eat them.
Chuck them back.
Yeah, they don't really have a strong effect on me unless they're,
high in milligrams.
Correct.
Stars of death.
And then, I've had people, eat half a cupcake and be like, oh my God. So we definitely, according to our custom orders, that's why they're custom orders. That's how we do our dosing. So we have different sofrito levels, different oil levels, all that we've done through trial and error and figuring it out.
And another thing to keep in mind, when you're having food that's infused, it's a little different than an edible that's laced with sugar, right? Because different components break down differently in your body. That's why infused foods take a little longer to hit you, but it's a deeper saturation, you kind of want to say, because the food has nutrients.
It's a body high.
It's very different than having a gummy. Much different. Empanada, say they're the same milligram dosage, it's still going to be different than having something that's sugary.
Okay. So are all three of you, well, the way it sounds to me is all three of you have the ability to prep and cook, and you all, in some way, shape, or form, can carry the responsibilities. Now, what I want to know is, it's a group of 3 people, and you guys are 3 different personalities.
Very
much so.
Yeah. So how does this work out for you 3? Wait.
Okay. No, I think this is actually a very.
Do you eat while you cook? Because that would probably help out, right?
Well, you got to taste as you go along, because
right.
You got to see how your food is coming out.
Right.
So, what makes this, I guess, work well, regardless of the fact that we're very different personalities, is that we know each other.
Right.
It wasn't like we met and then we had an idea, a mutual idea, and we went with it. The fact that we know each other well, there's different we each possess different components to our personalities, right? That actually, business-wise, I feel help us. Okay. There's one that handles the red tape of it. Let's just say the minutia, right, of it, and then there's the PR person, the marketing person, the person that knows everybody and has somebody and can, I'm going to talk to this person and see what they can do or what they can teach us. I've been fortunate enough to have a plethora of friends that are just dropping jewels on me and just helping and want to see us grow. So then we have the chef. She comes up with a lot of the ideas, a lot of things that we know how to do as far as cooking, because we were raised in a home that cooks. We had. So,
who was fucking playing Mr. Rogers just now?
No, I thought Mr. Softy came. I was
for real.
That was an alarm from a phone. Nice. So from what Lisa's saying, I actually have labeled our 3 personalities. So Lisa is the entertainer.
Okay.
Bertha is the dreamer.
Okay.
And
make it time for him.
I'm
Yeah.
the realist. I'm the one that says, okay, we have to work in reality.
She
Okay.
grounds us when our ideas, because we just be snowballing with ideas. She's like, yeah, but we gotta do this first. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. You're right.
Rein it back in.
Brings
Rein
it,
it back in.
and brings us back down. So our personalities are very different, but the fact that we our friendship is what I always say, you're born into your family. You can't pick and choose your family, but you pick and choose your friends. And we've been around each other long enough that we know what aspects of each person maybe might not be the best quality that we like.
Right.
But I love these girls enough to see past those things, and we find a way to work it out. I mean, we've had moments where we totally do not agree, and we don't just throw up, because we have a goal. So we don't just chuck it and say, you know what, F this person, I don't give a fuck. It's like, all right, how do I figure this out? We're each on personal journeys, and this healing and growing and stepping into this new I don't even know what the word is, this new venture.
Yeah.
This new venture that we're doing.
First of all, you throwing too many big words at me.
I know. I have a rather extended vernacular. What you want me to tell you?
Here she goes.
We're gonna get him a thesaurus for Christmas. That's what we're gonna get you, a thesaurus.
But we work through it like friends are supposed to do. People that respect each other. We each hold each other in high respect. We each admire the different qualities that play best to us about each other, and we make it work. But do we have disagreements? Absolutely.
Of course.
We agree to disagree. But
Right,
at the
right.
end, we have to
Often.
find a solution. I mean, it is our business, so that's
one
what
of the
our
main
goal is.
lines that we're okay. I hear you saying the problem, but what's the solution? So that's like our favorite line to say to each other when we get ahead of ourselves, and we try to keep ourselves grounded that way.
Yeah. We go through it too. We have our disagreements.
Fucking guys telling my business. What are you doing here, bro?
We go
But
through it
see-
too.
Are you guys in a fight now right now?
No.
But you go through, like you said, you have to let people be. Sometimes you got to throw it to the wall, see if it sticks.
Yeah.
You got to try things out, and if it don't work, it don't work. But if you don't try it, you're never gonna know.
This is our first year. So when we sat down and we had our own conversation, we said, like, this is going to be a lot of trial and error. We're going to see what we shine at versus what we don't want to do. There's a lot of things. We each have our own convictions that we stand strong in. So we want to make sure that at any time, nobody feels that they're slighting themselves for the business. We want to make sure that we our goal, we reach it, and we get out to all the people. We touch everybody in some sort of way.
Easy.
Hey
yo.
Not up in here. One of the things we do try to do, and it's an ethos that I live my life by, is we're all gonna make mistakes. I try not to make the same mistake twice, right? We learn, for example, the first thing that we ever made was canna butter.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
So
You gonna go there?
Wait, did you do it with the machine
You're
or
gonna
did
go
you do it manually?
No,
Like
we
the
did
Amish.
we did it with the
Nobody
machine.
was churning
No,
butter.
no,
over
no.
here. No, nobody was churning
We
butter.
did it with the machine, but it was our first time, right? We now have a machine that checks the potency of the things we make.
Okay.
But this was our first experiment. We made this canna butter, and Bertha made a meal of mashed potatoes, a salad, I think it was a strawberry salad, and fish, right?
Wow.
They're definitely high when they thought about this.
No,
Yeah, they did.
Absolutely.
That's a big
She's high. I know she's high.
No, but let me tell you what happened afterwards, right? So the next day, I get up very early. I have to be at work at 8. It was raining that day. Now, I'm a property manager, so I wear sneakers, or if I wear like sandals, they have to be heavy. I have a sneaker. And so it was raining that day. So I took in a bag, I put my heavy sandals, I had my rain boots on. I was stumbling around. I was still stuck on stupid that I got all the way to work. And when I got to work, that's when I noticed that the bag broke and I lost the sandals that were quite pricey that I just bought the night before. She got to work, 3 hours late.
I
She
did.
closed her eyes for 5 minutes,
and
and it was 3 hours later. This one,
I
we
never
didn't-
made it to work.
She's the realest of the group.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't have that luxury. My boss wasn't in that day. I had to be there.
Oh wow.
But it was like 11 o'clock before I felt that I could function. And I had like 3 teas. I have this aloe tea that wakes me up. Had 3 of them. Like nothing was working.
Yeah, we definitely overdosed that can
Yeah.
of butter. I have no idea how much it was, but it was probably the strongest reaction I've ever had to any kind of edible ever.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining the show, I'm your host, Mr. A,
Sally Sasson in the building.
and this is the set 6145. Tonight we have the ladies of Canna Kitchen, and we're discussing their come up, their the way they balance themselves with dealing with each other. A little overdose action. Lee is laughing and giggling right now. So I take it that I'm getting the vibe that, and tell me if I'm wrong, ladies, is Elise the mom of the group? Is she like the mommy, the mother hen of the group?
I mean, yeah.
Not in a, I don't mean that in a
bad
bad way. I'm
I
saying
know,
like
absolutely not
everybody-
in a bad way.
right.
She
Yeah,
is.
she definitely is, because she will be the one that when she's not happy, she's gonna sit there and it's like, oh man, Elisa's not happy. Okay.
me está mirando con esa.
She's giving me
She starts
the
with
look.
the
That's
thing
it.
jiggling over
Yeah,
there.
her look is the equivalent to when they used to slap the belt together.
Huélelo. Huélelo.
I love that move. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that move.
That look is similar to that, 100%. Yes. Yes. 100%.
And I believe that Bertha is the dreamer. She's the one that sees the business down the road, and
Correct.
we're gonna be in 10 shops, and we're gonna have
Yes.
Marta Maria cooking for us, and we're
Yes.
not gonna have to do shit.
Are you in
Right?
her head?
And
No,
we will.
I'm here for it. Listen,
Yes.
let me tell you, I'm here for it. I want to see small businesses such as yourselves grow as much as it can to a point that if it's brick and mortar, or if you like slamming on the web and people are like, yo, Canna Kitchen got the best whatever, pernile or
Food truck,
whatever.
food truck,
Everything.
food
This is what we
Everything.
want to see, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, we're trying to
todo.
be everywhere. We want to be. That's the goal. Food truck, brick and mortar, whatever, whichever way that this journey takes us on, we're ready to take it on. We're ready.
We're
to
trying to
learn.
be the Goya of.
no, we're
in-
not trying to wait. I'm sorry,
no.
Elise. You messed up. You're
Well, no,
off
no, no.
mommy duty.
Oh,
You
wait.
said Goya, no
No,
Goya.
No. First of all, the CEO. Let's not even talk about
Yeah.
it. Okay, we are trying to be the main brand of
Mhm.
cannabis infused sofrito, which we call canna frito,
Okay.
oils, canna powder, tincture. That's the eventual goal, and to build generational wealth.
Okay.
Yeah, so what we really want to do is, I mean, yes, we cook. We all cook.
Mhm.
But eventually what we want to do is also introduce our product to, the cooks, anybody that wants to cook, not just moms,
Right.
whoever,
In
cook,
restaurants.
Right.
perhaps even wholesale. That's what our goal is.
Right.
So whoever's watching, I mean, you want to reach out to us? Come on, let's do this. Let's collab.
Let's work.
Let's work
Bertha.
together.
Your family was in the restaurant business, so is that something that you would want you guys to go through, or in the business side of the restaurant that you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to go through this? Is it?
An actual restaurant. Well, that was my goal prior to this whole
Mhm.
Canna Kitchen thing. Like I was telling you, I got sick and everything. I couldn't work. I was doing catering on the side with my mom. We still keep in contact a lot with our clients, our customers, our old customers, because we still do the catering 15 years later. So that was something that I wanted to do. I was actually talking with my sisters and my mom about opening up another restaurant. Shit is expensive though. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, bring it back to Brooklyn. Absolutely not. I don't
Hell
live in
no.
Brooklyn. No way. No. So then these girls presented this idea and I was like, you know what? Let's roll with it. Opening up a restaurant, I'm not sure
We're
yet.
not opposed to
We're
it.
not opposed to
We're
it,
not
but-
really opposed to anything, I would say, because this is so brand new. You know what I mean? Well,
Right.
listen, I saw the laughing. Okay.
But we like the
I caught that.
mobility of a food truck.
But
And
Listen.
right now, that's what we're our short-term goal would be to get into a food truck so we can be outside
Yeah.
everywhere. You know?
Food trucks is very expensive also.
Super. And the licensing
You got to go through like a government, like
Yeah.
somebody that was in the
military.
military. That's probably
That'll be
best
the
route to go.
easiest route. But you know, thinking of a food truck, that is a big undertaking.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality of it is, if you guys were to get out in front and start that process, I think it would be amazing. 3 young ladies in a food truck making cannabis foods. I mean, and then not only that, but then you can make helado de coco. You can make piraguas like that.
Jolly
Absolutely.
Ranchers.
Jolly-
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where we're going. We're definitely going. Everything is up for being infused and
Right.
joining our menu. That's something we're totally open to doing all these things and trying all these things and getting them out there. Bringing it back to what you said in the beginning of our interview.
Hey, you got to offer. We said you use a veteran, you could get the licensing for food truck quicker, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, Manny Alfinas just said, hey, he's a vet, he's retired Army.
Hey, Manny.
Yeah. Manny, hit them up on the Instagram.
Hit us up, Manny.
Manolo.
Está casado.
Oh.
Ten cuidado.
Manolo.
Manny, all we
Hey,
want is the
business,
truck.
business.
It's all business, right?
It's all
It's all
business.
business. But getting really quick to touch
No,
back
go
on
ahead.
something you said,
Mhm.
that when you were consuming our food,
Mhm.
that you didn't taste the cannabis.
No.
So one of the things that we did very early on when we started testing foods and doing things is we actually held a quote unquote Friendsgiving, but it was actually after Thanksgiving.
That's what Friendsgiving is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we had it that Saturday.
Está
I mean,
borracho.
not for me. Friendsgiving is any time around that when you get together with your friends. Pero
We're on the same page.
okay, so we
Mhm.
did that, and we had 20 people come over, and we mixed it up. We had cannabis consumers, non-cannabis consumers, and then we had consumers of cannabis that
Occasionally.
take it
Oh.
edible or occasionally.
Occasionally.
Right.
They're not really smokers.
The
And
down
this-
low.
Right. And we did this prior to getting the T-check. So we weren't checking anything. We were just
Right.
making. And we had a big sit-down dinner. And we learned a lot. That's what we're doing. We sat the people down, and then while they were sitting down and eating, we did a Q&A. I asked them questions based on how they felt while they were eating. And then I threw out the question. I said to you guys that you're eating this food, how many of you want to taste the cannabis?
Uh-huh.
And you get different numbers.
Yeah.
Because you have people that want to taste the cannabis when they're consuming
Uh-huh.
versus the other people that they're okay with consuming it as long as they don't taste it.
Yeah.
So we're stuck in the middle.
Uh-huh.
So it goes back to asking when we get our custom orders.
Uh-huh.
Like if we're just gonna cook, then we're gonna cook and you're gonna get what we
Whatever.
got.
Chicken.
Right.
But if you're gonna say, listen, this is gonna be a crowd of heavy cannabis consumers and they
Uh-huh.
would prefer, then we got to do it. Whether we got to rake the bud, whether leave the oil in a very raw form so that there's more of the cannabis texture to it and taste. So those are the things that we come up against. It's not a problem per se, but it's something that we have to do to customer service where people, some want it, some don't. So it's all about what the people prefer, and we're trying to make everybody happy. We can't make everybody happy, but we're gonna sure try.
I was happy. So were you happy?
Happy
I was happy.
customers or returning customers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, listen, I'm gonna say this before we even move on to the next question. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a December baby, but I want a birthday cake.
Hey,
I just decided that
okay.
right now.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, you can't
Wait,
really see.
Do you like tres leches?
Of course.
There you go.
that's
We got-
something
we
we're
got it
working
in
on
three
right
tres
now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
She-
Yeah.
She asked me if I like the. I don't even want to repeat that.
Oh my God.
Not up in here. Not up in here.
What I was trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, you can't see in the studio just yet. I'm working on another camera, but outside on our table, I just looked over and there's 2 trays. It looks like Thanksgiving in here. And I'm really curious to know what that is, but I'm sure it's something amazing. So ladies, we've talked about all the good shit. Let's talk about the bad. Let's talk about the realities of being in business with your friends. Because it's one thing that you learn is, especially as adults, as parents, as partners, because it consumes your time. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when that is a huge part of who you are, your partner's going to get that, or your children may get a bit of that or whatever. How have you guys dealt with that sort of aspect of the business?
A lot of communication. We kind of don't hold back, and that's what honestly works, because I honestly know how you feel.
Mhm.
And even if I don't like it,
Mhm.
like I said, I still respect these ladies.
Mhm.
So I could lose my cool, but now después de vieja, I've learned.
What?
I've learned.
Después de vieja de esa mierda. Yo, I don't know if you saw, she pulled out her fishing rod. Estaba buscando algo ahí.
I do like to fish. I do like to fish. But that's neither here nor there. But the big thing is respect.
Right. Right.
I feel so far as this journey has taken us, even though emotions run high, we say exactly what we're feeling. And one of the things that we keep mindful of is that we're actually talking to someone that I consider a sister, someone that I would bring to my mother's house and sit at my mother's table, someone that I love.
Right.
So the fact that we feel that way towards each other and we know each other so well, we work with that. We work with that and we make it work. Is it always going to be, roses? No, it's not. And we're learning that when the things come up, as long as we keep respect in the forefront, we can say what we want, hashtag respectfully, to each other, and we find a way. We're all about solutions, because we know we already anticipated the drama.
Hold on a second. Sally, I'm not buying that. She gave the crazy Hollywood answer.
I did not. I'm really, and
respectfully, respectfully, I think you lying like a motherfucker.
No.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Not up in here.
All right. I want the reality. Now, mommy, I would ask you, but I'm not. I'm gonna go with Bertha on this one.
Okay.
Bertha, how do you guys work these issues out? Because I'm a husband of 20-something plus years, and I have a hard time with my wife. And I don't mean hard time like I want to kick out the window, but I know, just like she said, this is somebody that I love and I bring to the same people that you're talking about, like your brothers and sisters. How do y'all fight? Como gato y perro, right?
Yeah.
So let's take Lee's answer off the table for a second.
Okay.
How have you been able to balance these two personalities that you're working with? Because I can see Lee and I get her sort of position of how she likes to move. And I see Elise and I can definitely tell where she's very structured and she's like, yo, A, B, C, you know what I mean?
Right.
So how do you make all that work for yourself? Because you have a totally different personality.
I do. So I believe in having a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. When plan A doesn't work, let's move on to plan B. We do have one of them that's like, no, let's do the plan A. You know what? But it's about communication. We communicate. Do we argue? Absolutely, we do.
We
curse.
have a
chat room.
We
We curse.
cuss.
We have no
Oh,
filter.
definitely.
Yeah, the bitch word gets thrown around.
No filter.
The F word gets thrown around.
Yes, we do. We have no filter, but like I said, we always have to be mindful that this is our business. And,
Yes.
we all have a job, and we have to treat this, like Lisa said, as our first job, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Nice.
So it's honestly about communication.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will say that, the one thing, like me, I can be structured, rigid. You're right about that. But I'm not petty. I think that you can argue with somebody, and if the person is not petty or passive aggressive, you can cool off and then come back together and leave the emotion out of it. Do we get heated? Yes. Last week I was very upset. But like I said, you kind of work through it. But I'm not petty, because while we were having this argument, we're also sending things, ideas, and this and that.
In the middle of it, you know what? I've had it. I'm not even talking about this conversation no more. But by the way, did you see these empanada makers? and that is, hand to God, honestly, how the conversations go, because right now we're so motivated and we're so ready.
That's great.
We're ready. I'm calling personally on my personal journey outside of Canna Kitchen. This chapter in my life is called grace. I've been through what I've been through, and I feel like I'm in a really good place right now.
Mm-hmm.
I may be single, but I have such a busy life, such a full life.
Mm-hmm.
Raising a little girl keeps me a full-time mom. So that's
Oh, wow.
24/7. That never stops. Having a career where actually this December of this year, I'll make 25 years already in Maimonides. I can retire. I'm done.
God bless.
And hopefully the goal is that things go so well with us that when I do retire and can retire, this could be it. I mean, I have another hustle that I actually have with my daughter. We have a dog sitting service. So
wow.
I have this going full time, all day, every day. I have the dog sitting business that is also all year round. It's for friends and family, that when they go on vacation, they could leave their dog with me and my daughter. And she is a cute little entrepreneur because she be getting customers all the time. And then, work. I love to work out. So I'm always in the gym with my trainer, Joe. And so it's full. It's
Full schedule.
it's full. It's a very full schedule. So but we all know that, this is our baby.
Right.
So if I have to not go to the gym, or like, for example, bring my daughter with me to things, she's always with me,
Right.
then that's what's got to be done. We're all three willing to make sacrifices. We're all three inconveniencing ourselves all around because there's only so many hours in a day and
Of
so many
course.
days in a week.
Yeah.
So the goal is to eventually be able to do this 100% of the time and keep growing with this. But right now we're it's hard. It's not easy. This is something that we're doing not because we have to, because we want to.
Yeah.
And so all of our energy is being poured into it. And it takes a lot because we got to do a lot of research. We got to make sure we know what we're talking about. We got to educate ourselves on things, trial and error in the kitchen, learning how to infuse things, because not everything is just so black and white. If you have a protein in a food, then yeah, you infuse the protein. But when we're talking about other foods, because we're not trying to be in one corner. You're not going to keep this baby in a corner. We're trying to be everywhere. So that takes a lot of trial and error and learning, because we just don't know, and we got to figure it out. One of the things that I was talking with the girls about is I went to another dinner that was done by another group of gentlemen, that are doing their thing. Shout out to Forget About It Buds. And it was a wonderful conversation that we had. We were talking, and it was a good feeling to know that we're on the right track, that we're all, doing the same trials and errors, and we're all, trying to reach a goal where we're trying to make people happy and take out the stigmatisms attached to the cannabis and just get it in everybody's kitchen, and highlight the good part of it, and not just the the hangueo aspect that has been labeled with it for forever now.
Well, that comes from those people up top that want to keep control of certain things and want to paint different aspects of people and run PR campaigns to say that we're no good lazy weed smoking people.
Correct.
But it's whole bullshit.
But see, that's a myth, because I've been a cannabis connoisseur for many, many years. And at one point when my son was young, I was working 2 jobs. My son was under 3. I was going to school full time with a 3.8 GPA. So Lisa has this business, her full-time job, her side business with her daughter and her daughter. Bertha runs around for her family, takes her immediate family, then her husband, her child. She works. Her family, her extended family, calls her for anything and everything. So that lazy stoner myth is exactly that.
Just a myth.
I know, Sally. My wife has been a consumer since I met her, and the one thing that I've observed of her all these years is, she can come home from work, make dinner in 45 minutes, and be
ironing tomorrow's clothes,
taking her clothes off for tomorrow. She never misses a beat, multitasking on 100. And that's one thing I've appreciated about her. And I wish I could consume cannabis like I did when I was younger, but I can't anymore. It's just not the same. It's just different.
The weed now is definitely a lot stronger. I mean, we've tested bud that we're like, holy cannoli, what the heck? Like we're gonna get people retardedly strong. One of the things that we learned was without testing our stuff at that dinner, two of our friends that came that are not cannabis consumers. One is just a mild cannabis consumer. The food was so good, and again, they didn't taste the cannabis.
So they asked for seconds.
They were just eating and eating, and before dinner was over, ellos tenían just this rebato.
Sleepy Bobo time.
No,
they were laughing. They had your smile, Sally.
They had your smile.
Listen,
After I ate that pollo.
Saturday, the comedy show, I'm in the kitchen. I turn over, and Sally had like a clown smile. That's the only way.
Cheshire cat
gliding through the place. He was just gliding through. It was cute. And then I got a video. I got Mr. A eating, and he's like, "That's it. It's over now."
Yo.
So you just
those
got
two,
fucked up with him.
basically. And so
Both
the two women from Giggly Susie's, by the time they got home, they were sick. You know, they got sick. It was just too much for them. They're not consumers.
You got to be easy with that.
So, I mean, again, that was us learning that we have to oversee things. If we're doing a seated dinner and we know that there's non-cannabis consumers, that's when we would tailor our food. You know, that's what we realized. We got to tailor this shit.
Got to be easy, yeah.
We're going to make people sick, and that's not the goal. People are not going to come back.
Though, is that we are actually letting our customers know how much milligrams or milliliters or how much milligrams are in our food. You know, what we're gonna start doing.
Mentira.
No, we are. We
Bertha, you let me eat the empanada. No me dicho nada.
I'm
gonna keep fucking with her.
It was the empanada that you ate was 40 milligrams.
40, okay.
Of THC.
Then that's my dosage.
That's your
now
dosage.
you know I
because
need 40.
We had empanadas that were 70.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, we were very mindful of who we gave that to.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, we were mindful of who we gave that to.
And eventually we want to do a CBD version, which is so
that's what I said. But
that's what my wife would say. What am I gonna do with that?
There are some people
there are benefits
that will rather have the medicinal benefits without the THC. But funnily enough, one of the things that we're running into, and I did my due diligence, and we can actually, decarb the flower in a way to make it CBD, because we know a lot of people where we can get flower at a good price, but we can't find CBD wholesale.
Get at us. Seriously.
All right. There's a question from Manny. What is your favorite dish to cook?
Mine. What you're gonna have in a bit.
What is it?
That is moros. I like to make my rice. Moro de habichuela roja.
What's the dosage? Can I live?
Should we?
She's like, I made it special. 140.
I believe that we said we made the rice non-infused, and it's the chicken.
This one is non-infused, right. But no, I do make my infused.
Yeah, we took it easy on you guys, because I said to them, I said, listen, I know Sally isn't a normal connoisseur of cannabis, and I know you tampoco.
I got pants on fire.
So I said, listen, we can't kill these guys. We want to give them the same effect that they had. So we try to keep it with the same, and then we also mixed it with some uninfused, because that was I think a mistake that we did at our first dinner.
Everybody got it.
Yeah, there wasn't
everything was
hasta el perro.
No, and listen, we were even frying the empanadas in infused
in
oil.
Canna oil.
You getting fucked up.
Yeah,
you getting fucked up. Everybody getting fucked up.
Everything. We have this it's like a vegan salad. It's a red and orange pepper with mango salad. And after that, we infused that. So that was infused. Literally everything. The only thing that wasn't infused was whatever you were drinking.
Okay.
And that's coming next.
Really?
Yes.
Listen, I love cognac. I'll bring you my own VSOP personal bottle.
All right.
And y'all can show me some love.
Yeah, because we're working on.
You could put the tincture in that.
The water soluble.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tincture bottles that we
the little pink bottles that we were selling that night. Those are tinctures. You can drop it in
right in your drink.
Okay.
Yep. That's
your
the
teas, your water.
Yeah.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined the show, you are shit out of luck, because we'll stay here talking for another half hour. But what I'd like to say is the set is going to be we're going to be initiating another product that's going to be coming out more than likely in the summertime, where we're going to be going out and about and speaking to different people. You know, there's actually a coffee brewing house in Sunset Park. Tomorrow I'm going to go meet with this gentleman to get a tour of his place, and that should be the first episode that we have in this new product. But what I'd like to propose is at some point you got to invite me and Sully to the kitchen so we can do an episode of you guys cooking.
Absolutely.
Because I think that would be
That
really,
way,
really
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
We had a great response for everybody in the room. But yeah, we need to do that. I really would like to do that.
Actually, one of the things that we wanted to talk to you about is because we're from this neighborhood, right? And
That's
we're
right.
all about empowering the disenfranchised. So because, like, for example, you know, my mother and your mother were good friends. The roots go deep.
Yes.
If you guys are so inclined, we would like to have like an exclusivity deal with you guys that before we go anywhere, no matter how big we get, no matter what happens, the info will first be on the set.
Listen,
You heard it here first.
Sully,
Heard it here.
Sounds good.
listen, you already know. Y'all from our neighborhood. Y'all are people. And you guys are, you know, like Alicia said, my mom and her mom, listen, I was gone
we
already.
didn't
So
even
I
know
know
that.
Saria.
Yeah.
I didn't even know she was friends with my sister. Like I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
What?
word?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
That 6 degrees of separation is
6,
real.
1.
Yeah, it's real.
But,
it's real.
You know, you guys have history with Cell, and you know, you guys are part of the neighborhood. Of course, we want to show you all the support. So yeah, all the updates, funnel them through us. And as a matter of fact, send me your logo, because
Is there a website?
Not yet. That's,
Not yet, right?
That's
That's
what we're
coming
working
up.
on. There's a lot of things that we have to step up to, but it's a process, like we said. You know,
Mhm.
being that
Yeah.
we have the other half of our life. We're stumbling through it. We got to get all our social medias up with Canna Kitchen. We have to get a domain. I mean, those are the things that we're working on behind the scenes. Besides just killing it in the kitchen.
no, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead, Lisa. I see you.
One of the things that we're working on next, because another thing we're doing is that we are building relationships with other women in cannabis. At the
Nice.
end of this month, we're actually going to Atlantic City to Weiss, which is the Women in Cannabis Expo.
Nice.
So we're hoping there to learn some information, listen to some keynote speakers, make some relationships, and learn more about the foundation of actually establishing a business. We're trying to get our LLC paperwork in, all those kind of things, but it does take time and we are very busy. So we're trying to fit it all in.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Ladies sound very determined, and they are sharp, and their products are amazing. I'm just going to tell you that. So everybody wants you to go
Thank you.
to Canna Kitchen.
Canna _kitchen.
Canna _kitchen on
And
Instagram.
and kitchen is the last E is a number 3.
East side.
She went from keeping everything neat and nice to getting fucking complicated with it, underscores and
Listen.
You
threes.
just got fucked up with him. Both y'all niggas gonna get clapped up when I get back.
Wait, one more thing though. I do want to give a shout out to our little baker.
Oh yes, our pretty little stoner cupcakes are made by Bertha's niece.
Diana.
Okay, shout out to
And-
Diana.
Yeah, because she be killing it. She really does. Everybody loves our pretty little stoners.
And
Okay.
shout out to Carlin Soto, aka Ox.
Big
He has shown us love and support. He made our t-shirts,
Our hats.
Nice.
our cards.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Ox has been the big brother that he's always been, and he's so supportive. So, big shout out to you.
I
Yeah,
guess
shit.
that's why my uniforms were late. Thanks to Ox.
He was sitting there
Ox.
making the shirts and eating their cupcakes.
Fuck that. Sally got to wait
Oh,
for his shit
and
now.
also since we shouting people out, shout out to DJ Changa and Coney Island for helping us with our logo to
Yeah.
begin with.
Nice.
Changa came through and he was phenomenal. So anybody need any logo work, go hit that man up, DJ Changa on Instagram.
Changa, you got to come up to the set. Stop bullshitting.
Yeah,
On
man.
the island.
There you go.
Sunset Park, this has been an amazing conversation. We'll be back next week at 7 again. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. I hope that everybody enjoyed the information. And make sure you go check out the girls on Instagram, Canna_kitchen with the 3. I'm not even gonna start spelling this. Spell it, Lee. Spell it. How do you How do you find it on Instagram? Say, how's it spelled?
Canna_KITH.
No.
CH3N. There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. And Manny Alfinez, make sure you go to Instagram and reach out. The ladies are expecting a message. Okay.
Yes, Handyman.
Yes,
Hit us
yes.
up.
Handy,
please,
look, they
hit
got
us
fucking
up.
nicknames out here.
Yeah, I'm the queen of nicknames.
Come on, you know Lisa. She has her own. She has her own language.
Yeah, that's
Does
not
she?
Selly Sasson. That's Silly Monster. That's the Selly Monster.
Yo,
Silly monster.
blowing
She
this
getting
up.
personal. She
Yeah.
telling all the stories.
Listen, ask
Easy.
her about her chanclas in reggaeton.
Yeah, no, our chancletas are in reggaeton right now. That's my way of saying our chakras are in
Aligned.
retrograde. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We hot right now. So anybody, looking for some infused food, some savory foods,
Hit us up.
definitely hit us up. We're willing to work.
Or those that are interested in our products and you
Mhm.
want to
Cana
cook,
frito.
Yeah, so
Hit us
frito
up.
can go in anybody's kitchen.
hit us up.
That's a
Anybody
fact.
that wants to collab, hit us up.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I want my birthday cake, damn it.
We got
December.
We got you.
We got you. We got you.
December what? December what?
December
You and
11th.
Sally
He
are both
wants,
in
he
December.
wants
Yeah.
Ox to pop out the cake.
That's gonna be a big hit.
It depends on his back. It depends.
And shit. All right. And shit. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We will see you here next Wednesday at 7 p.m. with another great guest. All
Thank you
right.
for having us. We
No, of
appreciate
course.
being
You guys,
here.
you know what it is.
Sunset
Thank
Park, we in the
you.
building.
And we're waiting for those new products. All right.
We're gonna keep them coming.
There you go.
You gonna eat? You gonna eat?
Good night, everybody.